What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. So today we're going to be reacting to WrestleMania, talking about different things that came out of Monday Night Raw this past week. From Hulk Hogan buried, taken off TV. Is the final boss character dead as of what we've seen? And why did Rhea Ripley win the Women's World Championship back? I'm honestly in the minority that in this whole situation where I said Rhea Ripley didn't need to win it back, and I feel like I still stand by that. I don't think she should have won it back at all. But I digress. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna figure out why she really won the championship. So let's get into it.
What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including, is the final boss really dead? The Rock's minor fail on NXT, Triple H addresses a big issue, the real reason why Rhea Ripley won the title, Becky Lynch signs a new deal, WWE knows they made a huge mistake, Hulk Hogan buried, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on WrestleMania XL. Now let's see the intro and get straight into our first story. Now, is the final boss not dead? At top of today's news is The Rock's appearance on NXT and some of the bombshells he dropped. Firstly, he thanked the NXT fans. NXT fans and wrestlers alike were in for a major moment as The Rock appeared on the 7th January edition of WWE's developmental brand. The Rock had a special moment thanking the NXT audience for supporting the future stars of tomorrow. He also gave a special shout out to NXT fans for supporting the brand weekly, and that it means a lot to him, as well as the NXT roster for their support. True to form, The Rock did things his way, using the salty language he's known for, with parts of his promo being bleeped out. But the People's Champion told the fans he was being told to wrap up the promo, but he continued, delivering the goods until the very last second of the show. So, is he still a heel? How is The Rock a heel or a face? Just 2 days ago, fans were questioning whether The Rock had made an abrupt face turn on Raw after The Rock praised Cody Rhodes for his work as champion and later placed the Ulafala around Roman Reigns' neck. Many fans were shocked by this about face, but as we pointed out in our video explaining The Rock's apparent face turn, the WWE has several reasons driving it. The final boss discussed his so-called turn and hinted that the WWE universe can't make up its collective mind about how he acts. This time last year, The Rock, the final boss, everywhere I went, every gym, every restaurant, every church, every strip club, the same thing. I had the same thing. Why are you so mean to Cody? Don't be mean to Cody. Cody's gotta finish his story. Don't be mean. The Rock compared this to what he's hearing now, as The Rock wanted to give props to Cody, give him his flowers. He's been kicking ass. He's been kicking ass, carrying the company on his shoulders, and then what did they say? You can't be nice to Cody. Don't be nice to Cody. Don't drink tequila with Cody. Showing his ability to read the room.
And I feel like really that just shows how fickle the fans can really be. Like, for 1 minute they want something and then the next minute they don't. I feel like it's going to be forever indecisive when it comes to certain things or certain wrestlers and stuff like that. Like, and he has a point, because it's like a lot of people were like, why are you being mean to Cody just last year? And now all of a sudden, why are you being nice to him after everything that you put him through this past year? So in that regard, he makes a lot of sense, and it just shows, like I said, the fans could be very indecisive and fickle, might I add, when it comes to certain things like this. So, but what does this mean for The Rock, I would say? I know he's supposed to be doing reshoots for the Moana movie and stuff like that. So, his schedule is kind of a little different this time around. But there's still an opportunity for them to have him on WrestleMania this year. It just seems more of as a stretch, if anything. But, like, he could still work on the show. And he could still do that story with Cody if he wanted to. Or he can do something with Roman. Because the story is there for both if they really wanted to do either or. But I think a lot of people really want to see Roman and The Rock finally have their match after amping it up and wanting it for the past few years. So I could see them pulling the trigger on it potentially this year.
And turn on a dime, he also noted The Rock is the final boss, thinking 20 steps ahead. The Rock cleared the air during his NXT promo, telling the WWE Universe know their role, shut their mouths, and enjoy the ride The Rock is taking them on. Raw's Netflix debut was all about showing the world what the WWE product is all about and sending the fans home happy. As many fans and pundits have accurately framed things, The Rock's role on Raw was as a TKO executive and goodwill ambassador. Judging by a report from WrestleVotes, some people within WWE still expect The Rock to be at WrestleMania 41 in April, but it's likely that he will not be competing in a match. The situation is touch and go until a final decision is made, which likely hasn't happened yet. This really means that there's no reason to start storylines when the WWE themselves have no idea when they'll develop into a match. Personally, we just think that The Rock is keeping things open. He's not good, he's not bad, he's just in between, trying to keep things open as long as possible, and then when he's ready to return, that's when he'll strike. But it seems that it's clear that WrestleMania 41 won't have a match with The Rock. Next up, The Rock confronts Ethan Page. Now, The Rock also appeared backstage with his daughter Ava, who currently works as NXT General Manager. The Rock met with Ethan Page, who's been making life difficult for Ava, and told Page that while he's the final boss in the WWE, Ava is the final boss in NXT. The segment helped further Page's storyline as an out-of-control wrestler, while hinting at repercussions for Ethan should he defy Ava's authority. Also The Rock's authority when he slapped him on the ass. Next up, The Rock's minor fail. The Rock's appearance on the 7th January NXT didn't go off perfectly, as the most electrifying man in sports entertainment seemed to zone out at one point during his promo. TalkSport writes, part of the promo that grabbed most attention with fans came when, with a weary smile, Rock appeared to completely lose his train of thought, stalling in silence in the ring before reverting to the old age trick of engaging the crowd while he sought to recover. Members of the WWE Universe had some fun with some good-natured ribbing of The Rock zoning out, suggesting that next time he write promo notes on his wristband, as he famously did during his verbal volley with John Cena back in their rivalries in the 2010s. Next up, major happenings at NXT New Year's Evil. Last night's NXT New Year's Evil wasn't all about The Rock. The show also boasted.
I actually really enjoyed NXT New Year's Evil. I know a lot of people were iffy on it in a way, but like I thought it was a good show nonetheless. I thought they pulled the trigger on some big moments, having Julia finally win the NXT Women's Championship. Stephanie McCoy is one step away from potentially becoming the NXT Women's North America Champion, and Obafemi winning the NXT Championship, which is something a lot of people didn't think was going to happen this early on, myself included. I thought they were going to hold off on this until Stand and Deliver and then do it there. But yeah, they pulled the trigger. I think one thing I always say about NXT is they don't shy away from pulling the trigger on things. They are always open to trying new things and doing things that you normally won't see. And even if it doesn't work out, at least you know that they took a chance on something. So I will give a lot of respect to NXT, and I wish the main roster would take a lot of advice in a sense from NXT as far as what they're doing and how they pull the trigger on things, and not really always have to play the long-term game and stuff like that. So I really wish, main roster could really do something different in the near future, but we'll see.
Did 3 title changes as Obafemi won the NXT Championship in a triple threat match against former champion Trick Williams and Eddie Thorpe. Julia captured the NXT Women's Championship from Roxanne Perez, and Lexis King defeated Charlie Dempsey for the NXT Heritage Cup. Right now, as it stands, the WWE has gone with 3 new women's champions for the start of 2025.
3 new women's champions back to back to back. Now, honestly, me personally, I didn't think they were going to do that, but you can tell that WWE is really showing you that this is a new era of the women's division. Tiffany Stratton, deserved it. I think it was bound to happen. She was bound to take that next leap in her career by cashing in Money in the Bank and submitting herself as a champion, and now she is champion. I'm looking forward to what she's going to do as women's champion. We are going to figure that out in just a couple hours from now, because SmackDown at the time of recording this video is tonight. So I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with her, and what she's going to have to say. Will Nia Jax have anything to say about that? Will Candice LeRae have to say anything about that? Will either one of those women step up to be her potential first challenger, or will it be someone else? We don't know. Julia, she had a great match with Roxanne Perez, and I think those 2 women are going to do big things. Rhea Ripley, well, it's Rhea Ripley, so I don't have much to say about that, but
definitely gives weight to the saying, New Year, New Me. Next up, Triple H addresses a big issue. Raw was a star-studded show with WWE putting on a PLE quality card. However, the show only featured 4 matches, which left many members of the Red Brand roster off television, except for cameos sitting in the crowd or a few backstage segments. Well, Triple H addressed this as during an appearance on the press box, he commented, "That's every day, and it has nothing to do with Netflix or it has to do with everything we do. That's every day. We're going to try to touch on a lot of the people, but there's only so much real estate within the show. If you're not going to be on that show, maybe you'll be on the second one, maybe you'll be on the third one. You're going to be on these shows, but we can't put all 200 talent or whatever we have on one show. It's just not going to work." The WWE's roster is huge, which makes it difficult to fit a reasonable number of wrestlers into each week's show.
And yeah, that's just how the business goes, really. I mean, there's so many wrestlers there, and not all the time will we get to see, the people that we really care about be there every single week. It's more of a rotation type of, thing with a lot of these wrestlers where some will come in and some will come out, and then they'll, interchange them every so often. So I think that's something that we're just going to have to get used to because it's just, like I said, it's just part of the business. I mean, when you have, like Triple H said, over 200 plus wrestlers from both men and women, it is hard to get everybody on that show. You can only get so many people on the show at a time. So you might see one wrestler one week, they might not be the next, but then they're right back the following week. So it's just going to be one of those things that's happening. And now that we have, that extra hour on SmackDown, we could see some more wrestlers who haven't been seen in quite some time finally get an opportunity to be on television and build their stock up and get into storylines and go after championships. Now we're back to Raw with 3 hours as well, so we're gonna see potentially more wrestlers potentially be used, but it's still gonna be the same type of schedule with some will come in and some come out, but it'll be a little bit better in the sense, but we'll see.
This and WWE's mission of making Raw's debut a smash success means that some wrestlers will be left out and some egos will be bruised. Next up, Raw beats Squid Games. Did Raw deliver the goods for Netflix with its much hyped debut episode? Well, PW Insider is reporting that early word on Netflix numbers for WWE Monday Night Raw is that they are great, but the stream site is still getting numbers together. There's a lot of excitement in both WWE and Netflix circles about the numbers, so we'll see when.
Now, I did see this video came out 2 days ago, but apparently this Raw got over 4 million global watchers that watched live, and then within the first 24 hours, 4 million. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a weekly thing where they're going to continue to average this, but if they do, that's really huge for WWE. If they can continue to average 4 million, that's a big deal. And they're going to continue to get more money, more sponsors, new viewers. So all around, it's going to be a big thing for WWE.
When they release about how excited they really are. While the numbers are unknown, Raw did take the #1 spot on Netflix, beating Squid Games 2. This being in the top 10 programs in the US rankings. So you can imagine, it did pretty damn good. Next up is John Cena winning the Rumble. Will John Cena win this year's Men's Royal Rumble match? Cena made his case for taking a shot at the 17th world title, telling the fans at the Intuit Dome that the Royal Rumble is his best chance to earn a title shot and he intends to make the most of it. However, does this mean that Cena will win the bout and battle one of the WWE's world champions at WrestleMania 41? WrestleVotes discussed this on its Patreon Backstage Pass Q&A, saying, yeah, especially after that promo last night, everybody in attendance gave him the reaction he was looking for, and they want to see number 17. We had heard that he was one of the leaders in the clubhouse prior to last night, and last night only solidified he's choice number 1 or 1A. So yeah, I'd say it looks good at this point. As Cena winning the Royal Rumble will create plenty of suspense as fans wonder whether he can win a
Him winning would really be a big deal. It really would, because now it sets up him going for the 17th World Championship, which a lot of fans want to see. And I'm gonna make a video about that. I'm gonna probably kind of be a little bit different, but people are probably gonna get mad at me. But I will drop a video on the John Cena situation, either later today or Monday.
World title and set a new record of 17 world championships. Next up, the real reason why Rhea Ripley won the title. Why did WWE decide to have
Now, I really need to understand this right here. I am going to be glued and I need to see this. I want to understand this.
Rhea Ripley regained the Women's World Championship on the recent Raw. According to WrestleVotes, WWE is already preparing things for WrestleMania 41. I think it's become numbers thing that as we get closer to WrestleMania, 2 world title matches for the women's equals probably
Going away? Going all the way? All gone away? Last minute booking, only on the OYO app. Download the OYO app, as easy as OYO.
If you ever want to know why I block ads with Pi, this is why I block ads with Pi.
I just found what may be the biggest YouTube.
4 participants. They want Rhea obviously to be one of those. I think Becky and Charlotte are going to be 2 and 3, and just don't believe that they had a spot for Liv there, so they decided to take the title away from her. Morgan's last run as women's champion and her heel turn solidified her role as a main eventer.
Exactly. This should have solidified her as a main eventer, but in my eyes, as a Liv Morgan fan, I don't feel like WWE capitalized on it and made a lot of the fans believe that. I feel like they gave her the moment and took it right back. And the thing, it seems like Liv Morgan, it seems like every time they give her the championship, the person she beats always has to be the one to take the title back from her. I don't understand it. It happened with Ronda Rousey, and it happened again with Rhea Ripley. I'm gonna say this. The thing with Liv Morgan, right? She deserves all the accolades in the world. I really do. With the year that she's had, you cannot tell me that they shouldn't capitalize on the year that she's had and give her an even bigger 2025. Like, seriously. The work that she's put in from a character standpoint, from an in-ring standpoint, overall, all around, she has improved and elevated herself to a new level. WWE will be foolish not to pull the trigger on her and elevate her to the next level. And like I said, I don't understand why every time Liv Morgan wins the championship for somebody, they have to be the same people that take it back. I literally said on a podcast a couple days ago that Rhea Ripley and Ronda Rousey are the 2 women responsible for Liv Morgan not being seen as a main eventer. I'm gonna just be honest. If she didn't lose to them, she probably would be in that conversation with other big names like Becky and Charlotte and Bianca. But because of her losing to those 2 women, Rhea Ripley and Ronda Rousey, people don't see her as a main eventer. They see her as a upper card talent. Thanks, WWE.
Means you can
Thanks for ruining Liv Morgan again.
be sure WWE has something big booked for her, even if it doesn't involve a world singles title. Frankly, the next thing for
The thing that they need to do with her, please send her to SmackDown. Please, please, WWE. If you're hearing this, and I'm pretty sure you're probably not, send her to SmackDown. If you keep her on Raw, I feel like they're not going to do anything with her. I feel like she is going to be right back in the mid-card. And if you really want to make her a main eventer, put her on SmackDown. SmackDown can need a little bit more star power. Putting Liv Morgan being on SmackDown would be a great move, because now you can plug her into the main event scene on SmackDown, which don't really have that many main eventers. Charlotte's going to probably be one of them. You're still going to have Bianca. You're still going to probably have Jade. Nia's already won it. Tiffany's there. So you plug in Liv Morgan. That's another big main eventer you can have over there. And Liv Morgan and Charlotte? Oh, that match would slap. That match would slap. Her and Tiffany would slap. Her and Bianca, her and Jade, sign me up. Put her on SmackDown. She can go after that Women's Championship. She can go after the U.S. Championship and elevate that division and elevate that title as well. So there's more that you're getting out of Liv as a main eventer, putting her on SmackDown by keeping her on Raw when she's not going to be doing much. They're not going to put her in the main event scene because they have Rhea Ripley there, and they're not going to give Liv the title back after taking it back from her. To give it back to Rhea. They're gonna have Becky over there, and they're probably not gonna have Liv go over Becky either. So put her on SmackDown. Just put her on SmackDown.
for Morgan is to probably be in the feud between the Judgment Day and the Wyatt Six, leaving a bit of time before she goes after the title again. Next up, Becky.
No Wyatt Six. No. Do not put her in a feud with Wyatt Six. What? That is a whole 180. That is a step all the way back by putting her in a feud with Wyatt Six. Wyatt Six is a good faction, don't get me wrong, but no, Liv Morgan should not be doing anything with the Wyatt Six. I'm not trying to be that type of fan, but Liv Morgan is above the Wyatt Six right now. It wouldn't do nothing for her. It's not benefiting Liv Morgan by having her in a feud with Wyatt Six. It's not. At least what they're doing with the Final Testament, it's elevating the Final Testament in a sense, because now people are starting to somewhat buy into them. The Judgment Day story is pretty much over, and they're about to probably break up soon. And I can see them doing that before Mania, so no.
Becky Lynch signs a new WWE deal. What is the latest on former WWE superstar Becky Lynch? Lynch didn't appear on this week's Raw, but Fightful Select is reporting that fans needn't worry about her status, as it was confirmed that after a deal had lapsed in 2024, Becky Lynch has since agreed to a contract with WWE. Although it's unknown when Lynch will return, it's likely to be soon, as WWE sets the stage for WrestleMania 41 and the various PLEs leading into it. Right now, a Rumble surprise appearance seems to be the right thing. Next up, SmackDown returning to 2 hours. Now is SmackDown returning to a 2-hour format. Some fans were disappointed by last Friday's new 3-hour format, criticizing it for failing to capitalize on its extra hour. While the show isn't scaling back to 2 hours anytime soon, Brandon Thurston reports, Levesque didn't specify the timing here. I've been informed SmackDown is planned to return to a 2-hour format beginning in June. WrestleVotes had this first several months ago. Next up, WWE knows they made a huge mistake.
Now, I will say that the 3 hours of SmackDown, it's beneficial because now it gives more people an opportunity to be on the show and be used and be featured. Especially with you having this whole transfer window, so it gives more excitement to who could show up where. But I think it really just depends on how they really, book it. Because it's possible to make a 2-hour show good. It just takes a lot of time. Look at NXT. They make those 2 hours look really good. So I think it's a possibility that they can make SmackDown work, even though it hasn't really worked as of late. But maybe they can turn it around when they go back in June. So we'll have to see. But I'm okay with the 3 hours. Yes, it's more hours for me to watch wrestling. It's like 12 hours in total, if you can include Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, TNA. So, yeah.
Mistake. Now, Hulk Hogan's appearance on the 6th January Raw is still being talked about, chiefly due to the thunderous boos the controversial superstar received during his brief appearance. And now WrestleVotes is reporting that WWE is re-evaluating Hogan's role when it comes to his live appearances. They will do a lot of documentary interviews with him going forward. They may have him on commercials, but as far as live appearances, you may not see him as often. Now, not everyone has forgiven Hogan's past racist remarks, and despite an extended apology tour, some question the sincerity of Hogan's apologies. It's a situation there's no avoiding, and WWE management seems to understand the optics involved. They're reportedly still making notable merchandise money from Hogan, not to mention the recent partnership deal they made with Hogan's A Real American Beer. However, the company needs to read the room regarding when and if to have Hogan appear in public. While some fans might find WWE's behavior to be hypocritical for making money off him but keeping him out of the public eye, that's nothing unusual for entertainment companies. And finally, Hulk Hogan gets buried. And last but not least, the WWE Universe wasn't alone in roasting Hulk Hogan. Raw color commentator Pat McAfee had some fun at Hogan's expense during his daily The Pat McAfee Show. McAfee sent listeners to a fake press conference featuring a Hogan impersonator commenting on his Netflix appearance. When asked about the thunderous boos, the fake Hogan said that he was surprised by how many people hated Jimmy Hart, who joined the Hulkster at Raw, but admitted Hart's half-ass holding of the American flag may have fueled some of the hate. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below.
Yeah, people did not want Hulk Hogan on their screens whatsoever. They want him to go home and not come back. They did. And, hopefully we don't see him anytime soon, but it's WWE. I wouldn't be surprised, but we'll see. But with all these news stories that we just reacted to, what do you guys think about the whole Hulk Hogan situation? Do you think the final boss will come back? Do you think he will have a plan for WrestleMania? Do you think he'll be left off WrestleMania? Do you agree with them putting the title back on Rhea Ripley? Do you think Liv Morgan should have possibly retained so she could have an opportunity to be on Mania this year, because it's now, it seems like, uncertain? We leave out down in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Road to 500 subscribers. We're so close to that milestone. We're 6 subscribers away, so let's get to that milestone by the end of the day. I know we can do it. But with that being said, Super kick that like button, helps my channel gets pushed across the platform so more people can see what I'm doing over on YouTube. Superman punch that post notification bell, and spear the subscribe button. Takes 3 seconds later today to do those 3 things for me. Helps on the progression of my channel as well. We're trying to get to 10K by the end of the year. I know we could do it as a wrestling family, so let's make it happen. But with that being said, hope everybody has a great day, a great weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next